Hi, my name is Kaya Basharan, and I'm talking about web accessibility. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about contrast. And by way of example, I'm using this article about accessibility that I'm still working on. And I've got some colorful text here, which you can easily see has some issues with contrast. Let me take this text here and let's have an inspect and see what's going on. You can see I'm doing something very simple here with color. And you can also see that I have an issue with contrast, that this isn't legible. So how do I fix this? So I'm using a Chromium-based browser. So if you're using Google Chrome or the new Edge, then you'll be familiar with the developer tools that I've got here. Maybe you're not yet familiar with some of the newer features to do with accessibility. So in this first example, I've got some red text and my contrast ratio is not high enough to meet accessibility requirements. Let's make this a bit bigger. Okay, so I've got a contrast of 4, but for the AA standard I need 4.5 minimum, or for the AAA I need 7. On the color picker here, we've got some very useful lines that help identify or help more quickly choose the right color. So I can click and drag this around. You can see the effect that that has here, and I can choose a red. Now that looks red. This is getting a bit too close to black or dark gray, so let me go with that one. We've also got this very nice feature. They can automatically choose a color for us. So just click on there. There we go. But that's not quite what I'm looking for, so I'm going to have a play around here. If I go slightly towards the red, more towards the red spectrum, then I have a more orange looking color as a result, a brighter color, and still meet the AA requirement. Let's move on to yellow, and this is where I'm going to find it the hardest. Yellow is going to be the hardest color to get a good contrast for. So one thing I'm going to do is just move towards the red a little bit more. And this is just a little bit of intuition, guesswork, just looking at it and seeing what feels right. So at this point on the yellow end of the spectrum, it looks like we're going to have to make a bit of a compromise. But there's another solution that can help us, which is I could increase the font size. And with larger font sizes, it's not required to have such a high contrast. So for here, with this size text, I need a contrast of 4.5 for the AA standard, or a contrast of 7 for the AAA standard. But if I make this font bigger, for larger text, we don't need such a high contrast. Now it's updated. So for AA at this font size, what have I got? 25 pixels, 25.2. I need 3, contrast of 3 for AA or 4.5 for AAA. So I can decrease the contrast a little bit more, have a little bit more color in there. It's looking a little bit more yellow. Now an interesting point I'd like to make in closing is, well, what's going on here? Is this a good thing or a bad thing, what I've done here with the font size? I mean, it's a bit weird, right? But I recently came across this article, which makes a very good case for weird text. It's talking about how to keep your readership, how to keep people engaged with your text. And they make a really good case for doing these kind of weird things with your text. This particular article is maybe going over the top with this. It's trying to demonstrate it, but maybe it's not going over the top. I mean, I read to the end of the article and I can certainly recommend it to you. So in this case, have I now compromised with the style? Have I compromised in order to meet accessibility requirements, or have I stumbled across an even better solution in my attempt to meet these accessibility requirements? It's actually pushed me in the right direction. Having read that article, that's what I'm trying to do in this article that I'm writing, is to do some slightly more attention-grabbing, focus-directing, fun things with the text. So I actually really like that, and I'm going to stick with that for this contrast solution.